I know everyone in this room has either experienced that or knows someone who has. It's just completely unacceptable. I can't imagine having to live a life like that. But I can imagine committing myself to making sure that I eliminate those things in our workplace. And we started this journey by realizing there's power in numbers. We began to form these employee networks. You heard about these yesterday from other speakers. We have them in our company. We have 10 now today. The Intuit Military Network, the LGBT or Pride Network, the African American Network. They not only provide a safe haven for each other, begin to talk about these things, to reinforce each other, they also invite members in who don't share those particular beliefs or those particular orientations to educate and teach. I'm a proud member of all 10 of our networks. And I have to tell you, they're having an impact in our company, starting first at the individual level. Let me show another video clip of some of the same faces you saw talking about the environment we're in the journey of creating.
Part of being your full self, once again, is to bring everything to work, to create an atmosphere that you thrive in. And to do that, you have to be yourself and be honest and open and authentic. And that is, when I did join the Pride Network, authenticity just became that much more powerful, and I became that much more successful.
If people are bringing their whole selves to work, whoever that is, they're hopefully not spending time editing anything about themselves, and they can let their ideas roll freely. Because I always worry that if we're in kind of a brainstorming session and people are working at multiple levels in their brains and they're editing or having meta conversations or meta thoughts, they're not fully engaged in whatever that brainstorming process is. And that's what I really want, is for people to be fully engaged in the work in the moment.
My previous employer, I didn't come out of the closet at all. I was with them for 17 years, so I had this like double life. But then when I came to Intuit, I saw a lot of the different networks and then also the Pride Network, and thought, wow, this might be a safe place for me to actually be myself, which wasn't hard to do, because as soon as I did come out, just embraced. I mean, people are just phenomenal there.
One of the things when I came to Intuit and didn't have to hide that, man, Intuit got more work out of me. I just didn't have to spend the time worrying about hiding. And in those situations where I'm worried about hiding, I have to be guarded, I'm not thinking creatively, I'm not my best in interacting with a colleague or with a customer.
That's the power of creating an open environment. Now, I will tell you, when I first joined the company in 2003, I had 3 team members. One of them was Rich Walker. I've looked for 8 years on how to get more work out of Rich. I now know. It's wonderful. But that is the foundation. That's the building block. I hope many of your companies are in the same journey. You wouldn't be here today if you weren't committed to helping them get there. But there's also a very business-oriented reason why this is important for all corporations and small businesses around the globe. And that's the second point of my talk this morning. We've done work with the Institute of the Future. They're a think tank. They work with the government, they work with companies, and they try to look at these big transformational trends that could be happening over the next decade. We are in the midst of one of the biggest transformational trends that has occurred since the Industrial Revolution. No one argues the fact. There are 4 things happening right now in the world. One, we are in the midst of this biggest demographic shift in recorded history. There are 2 age groups working in the workplace today. The digital natives that grew up with iPods and PlayStations and iPhones, and the baby boomers who aren't retiring, and we're having to find a way to coexist. Women are coming of power now. There are careerpreneurs. The #1 fastest growing segment in small business are women-owned businesses. There are mompreneurs, people who are working from home and raising their kids, and they're immigrant-owned businesses. This is a highly diverse world that we operate in. If you have a highly diverse workforce who can connect you, you will be more successful. The other 3 trends I won't talk about this morning, but just for the purpose of saying, well, what's the other stuff? Business models are changing. It's a world of participative consumers now. Think social, think eBay, think buyers and sellers, think YouTube. We want to not just be sold something, we want to help create and participate. Technology shifts are moving from the desktop to the palm of our hand. Now when you hire kids and you ask them if they can type 60 words a minute, they say yes. It's actually been suggested that our thumbs will start to grow longer in the next generation. So, I mean, that's the crazy stuff going on. And the world's borders have come down. Just think about this recession. One country caught a cold, the whole world got sick. You can't live with your head in the sand today. This is where the power of employee networks and diversity comes in. This is our Asian Pacific Islander network. Every one of our networks choose a signature charity to participate in, to try to help those in the community be successful. In this particular case, we had a handful of employees come to Los Angeles, partner with the Chinatown Service Center to help in Mandarin, speak Mandarin, to teach them how to use some of the products and services we have that are available for free. And it's improving the profit of these business owners by 20% in the middle of a downturn. This is our Latina Connect network, who went to food banks around the United States during the tax season, offered our tax software for free, and helped Spanish-speaking citizens in the United States get access to things like earned income tax credit so that we could help them pay their taxes but keep more money in their pocket. And our Pride Network has done something that I am most proud of. We have all witnessed more and more states coming to their senses and legally recognizing same-sex relationships. And while that's been a wonderful trend with many, many more miles to go, it created an unanticipated tax situation. Now, we're in the tax business, and as Cheryl Lee said, they're not always the most popular people. So our employees came back and said, why would a same-sex couple have to go to a professional and pay thousands of dollars to get their taxes done when we produce tax software for $29? Why don't we do it for them? And they worked with our engineers, so now in TurboTax, you can actually know if you're in New Jersey, it will give you an option, are you a member of a civil union? In California, since it knows it's from California, it says, are you in a same-sex marriage? And then it guides same-sex couples through the taxes. And as happy as I was to see that happen at a grassroots level, it was when this happened that something more phenomenal happened. In 2008, our software was the only company that did this. And then the competitors saw the press, and now every tax software company in the United States recognizes same-sex relationships. You have many options to choose from. The employees who built this did it through passion, through an employee network. One of the gentlemen is here today. I'm just going to ask him to stand up because he turned a $3.5 billion company around and got us to do the right thing. John Caldwell, where are you, buddy? Right there. John Caldwell is a perfect segue to my closing thought, inspiring through action. I thought Cheryl Lee just blew the doors off this joint this morning. And she challenged us all to stand up, to speak up, to find our voice, to know what we believe in, to role model through our actions. And I believe every one of us not only has the potential, we have the accountability to do just that, regardless of risk. It begins with introspection. We all have to take the time to define our personal brand. What do you want your legacy to be? What do you want people to remember about you when you have accomplished all these things that you're here to accomplish? I'll share a story. Many of you may recognize this gentleman. Early in his career, he was Cassius Clay, soon to become Muhammad Ali. Fly like a butterfly, sting like a bee, rumble, young man, rumble.